I went unnamed for 18 years of my life. Ask me anything. I originally posted this on a different Ask Me Anything subreddit a few days ago, but it got deleted because it didn't fit the guidelines, so here I am. A little context: my parents had me a month early, didn't have a name picked out and couldn't agree on one. The nurse doctors let them take me home unnamed under the condition that they'd call back with a name for my birth certificate. Well, they never called back, and the hospital was forced to give me the default name for my state, baby, gender, last name. So for me, I ended up being named baby girl by default. My parents, who divorced shortly after my birth, never got together to change it officially. So I went as baby for 18 years until I turned of legal age and got the rights to change it. The name caused more havoc than you might think. Did that T-Pain song where he starts off, "Baby girl, what's your name?" hit particularly close to home for you? Over sure, ha 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 ha. So like, is that the name you went by in school when teachers called roll? Nah. I went to the same school district for my entire life, so they made a change in their system to ensure teachers called me by my preferred name. You're probably one of the only people in the world who could say I'm baby unironically. I have and I do. I am baby. What's your relationship with your parents like? Pretty standard, as far as divorced parents go. I'm closer with my dad, because my mom is pretty stubborn and irresponsible to a fault. Main reason I went unnamed for so long, but that's life. Did you change your name to the name you had been using to introduce yourself? Yep. That was the easiest thing to change it to. Did you ever tell any friends about it? What was their reaction? Most people thought I was lying until I brought in a copy of my birth certificate. Afterwards, they went nuts. One of them, with my permission, started calling me baby girl as a nickname. He still does it to this day. Wait, what did they call you otherwise? A preferred name, which I use a lot more than baby. Did you get a driver's license? Did it have to say baby girl? I didn't get a driver's license until after the change, so no. But I did get a passport with baby girl on it, so there's that. What's your name now? Ever lied just to seem like you do have a name? While I won't actually give out my real name for privacy reasons, my name now is something completely normal, I promise. And technically, I lied all throughout those 18 years, because I was already in the habit of introducing myself under my preferred name anyway. That's crazy because I was born in 1980 and my parents also couldn't agree on a girl name. So I was baby girl last name for 3 days. But they wouldn't discharge them without a name. I'm not denying that possibility. I'm just glad that it didn't happen to me. What's your favorite holiday? Yeah, the protocol is not to discharge without a name, but my parents somehow got around it. Whoops! I like Valentine's Day the most. What kind of person has Valentine's Day as favorite holiday? For me it was always just spending money on someone only for them to avoid me all day. I've always used Valentine's Day to show general affection to friends and family alike, not just romantic interests. I like to bake cookies and give them out to make people happy, show them that I appreciate them, and let them know that I like having them around. Valentine's Day is what you make of it. Meg, down here in Australia, you have 60 days to pick a name, and if you don't then they give you a regular name from a list. So you don't even get a cool story like yours to tell. Dang. If it makes you feel any better, I think being from Australia in itself is pretty cool. What in the world was school life like? How did people address you before? Life in school was pretty normal, because they learned pretty early on to change my name in the system to my preferred name to avoid any awkwardness between me and my teachers. This also meant my peers knew me as my preferred name unless I told them otherwise. However, in instances where I had to use my legal name, example applying for college, I got some very weird responses. Most people asked me if I was joking or if I was trying to be funny. I even had someone scold me for trying to hit on them in a professional environment. The look on their face when I explained it was my actual, legal name. Priceless. Do you know what names your parents disagreed on? How and when did you choose a normal name? They disagreed on Olivia Lynn because me and my sister would have the same middle name if they went with this one. My mom's name is Linda, so that's where the inspo came from. Fawcett, not kidding. Yes, I'm white. Victoria Caitlin, I didn't get to choose my preferred name either. That one was picked out of a hat by my dad, about 3 weeks after going nameless. I kind of love the name Baby Girl. That's kind of an awesome name. But when did you choose to pick a name? Did your mom/dad pick one for you, or did they let you choose? And did you ever change it growing up when you got bored of it? My dad picked my preferred name out of a hat about 3 weeks after I was born, so I wasn't allowed to choose. I never got bored of it either, but I did jokingly say I was going to change my name to Dragon Slayer when I was legally allowed to scare my parents. I kind of wish I did. Ah. When you say the name caused havoc, what aspect of it caused the most? Probably applying to colleges. Most places, though, I was trying to play a prank or be funny with them. This caused a lot of trouble because it left a bad impression on some admissions officers unless they talked to me directly about the situation. I still got into college though, so no real harm done. Is this your go-to fun fact for icebreakers? 100 absolutely. Disregard this question if it gives away your name, but what inspired you to go with that name? Were your parents opposed to it? I had a supervisor that had the same thing, but he was 9 when he picked his. He chose Lurs Laugh Out Loud. My parents actually did pick out my name. I never got to choose. However, they technically took inspiration from an actress who also has my name. That name went into a hat full of names, and then my dad randomly picked that name from a hat. I hope that makes sense. Laugh out loud. How did you feel about not having a name? I think it's funny as hell. What's your relationship with your parents like? I'd be kind of annoyed they couldn't be bothered to go back and change it. It's fine. I'm mostly amused by my parents' stubbornness and their lack of teamwork. I'm not really sure how they got married in the first place. Why change the name? Seems like a nice enough name, if a bit eccentric. Many people consider it to be unprofessional, and under that name a lot of people didn't take me seriously. Were you ever teased for being unnamed, and how did you get through it? Now, never teased. I was surrounded by mostly good people growing up. I'm super late to this, but this happened to my grandma. She's in her mid-80s. When they left the hospital, she didn't have a name written down. That was decided later at home but never put on the certificate, and she just found out a couple years ago. Tell your grandma we should start a club.